Hello dear students. Today again same thing are repeated. That means you have to follow SMS rule. As you know that why I am saying so many times, because we are facing the COVID-19 problem. It is a very severe problem now this time. Okay. Now let us focus on the topic in part 5 of unit 1 solid state. I told you about defects. In that defects, I told you basically about the point defect. In point defect, I told you that these are the three types: stoichiometric defect, impurity defect, and non-stoichiometric defect. So these are the most important topics, okay, which I discussed in last lecture. Okay. Now let us focus here two more important points regarding the board examinations. That is electrical property. In this electrical property, you also know about the one more defect, that is known as electronic defect in term of semiconductor. So let us focus on the electrical property. So now you know that the electrical conductivity of the substance should be varied according to the conductivity range that have 10 to power minus 20 to 10 to power 7 ohm inverse meter inverse. Are getting this point or not? That means the conductivity of solid vary according to this range. Okay. Second things, on the basis of electrical property, solids are divided into three types. Okay. One is known as what? Conductor. Second is known as semiconductor, and third is known as insulator. So that means on the basis of electrical property, solids may be three types: conductor, semiconductor, and insulator. Are you getting this point? Now let us focus on the first of all conductor. So how can we define the conductor? The conductor or the solid which allows the passage of electric current. They have the conductivity range 10 to power 4 to 10 to power 7 ohm inverse meter inverse. Okay. Now one more thing, you have to know that the conductors are basically two types. It may be metallic conductor, it may be electrolytic conductor. About the electrolytic conductor, I also told in the ionic solid. Okay. So look at here. What about the electrolytic conductor? So these are the conductor which allow the pass of electricity only in aqueous solution or molten state. They do not allow the passage of electric current in the solid state. This I told you also that why this happen? Because in case of solid state, ions are not free, so that's why they are not good conductor. But in dissolved state and molten state, what happens? Now the ions are free. Just we have taken the example of NaCl. When we dissolve NaCl, so now Na plus and Cl minus ions are free, so that's why they can show conductivity. So in case of electrolytic conductor, you have to talk about the conductivity due to presence of free ions. Are you getting this point or not? One more thing here, on increasing the temperature, what happens? The conductivity increases because more number of ions are break. First of all, you know that this is the strong electrolytes, they complete dissociate. Okay. But now by increasing the temperature, what happens? The movement of ions increases. So that's why what happens? The electrolytic conductor show more conductivity. Now let us focus on the metallic conductor. In case of metallic conductor, they allow the passage of electric current in solid as well as molten state, and this is due to free and mobile electrons. So metallic conductor show the conductivity due to free and mobile electrons. Electrolytic conductor show the conductivity due to free ions in molten or dissolved state. But here in any condition, either solid condition or molten state, they show the conductivity. Okay. Here some examples are given, just like a metal, copper, iron, Ag. So these are the metallic conductor, and some oxide are also given in the example, which also behave as metallic conductor, just like a titanium oxide, vanadium oxide, chromium oxide, niobium oxide. Are getting this point or not? One more important things you have to notice about the conductor. That means the metallic conductor. In case of what happens here? Metallic conductor conductivity. conductivity is inversely proportional to temperature. Are you getting this point or not? In this case, what happens basically? Increase in temperature, decrease in conductivity. So one question arises, why this happen? The metallic conductor on increasing the conductivity should be decreased. Okay, so let us focus here. Why this happen? So as you know that now, metals are made up of kernels and electrons. So these electrons are what? Free and mobile. Are getting this point or not? Now increasing the temperature, what happens? Increasing the temperature, now this is the kernel. Now this become start vibrating to and fro motion. Now they hindrance the flow of electron. The flow of electrons will be hindered. Are getting this point or not? So that means kernel provides hindrance. It provides hindrance of flow of electron. That means it provides resistance. So due to this, what happens? The movement of electron slow. So that's why the conductivity is also become decreasing. Are getting this point or not? So one question arises, what happen in case of conductor? Conductor may be electrolytic, may be metallic. In case of metallic conductor, what happens? Conductivity decreases on increasing the temperature, because the metal kernels start vibrate, which produce resistance to the flow of electron. So this is most important questions regarding the conductor, which may be asked in the board examination. So are you getting about this one or not? So these are the some points regarding the conductor. Now let us focus on the semiconductor. So semiconductor, they allow the electricity in some conditions. That means they are basically two types. One is known as intrinsic semiconductor, and second is known as extrinsic semiconductor. Now in case of intrinsic, what happens? That means you taken the pure germanium and pure silicon. In that condition, what happens? At normal temperature they behave as insulator, but on increasing the temperature, when increase the temperature, what happens here? Now electron start doing the conductivity. That means motion of electron started. So that's why they show the conductivity. Okay, so that means on increasing the temperature, semiconductor, that means germanium and silicon show the more conductivity. Now in case of extrinsic, what happens here? Basically here doping occurs. Doping means, as you know that na, milavat. So here what happens? Germaniums are mixed by nitrogen family elements. That means nitrogen, arsenic. Okay, either germanium or silicon mixed with boron, aluminum, that means boron family. So now they also show the conductivity, but this conductivity is generated by the doping of elements. So that's why this is known as extrinsic semiconductor. Okay, so they show the conductivity normal temperature, they show the conductivity at high temperature. Are you getting this point or not? So the conductivity range of semiconductors are 10 to the power 6 to 10 to the power 4 ohm inverse, meter inverse. Okay dear students, now note down the examples. So for intrinsic semiconductor, simply you can write germanium silicon, and in case of some metal oxide which also we have as semiconductor, so note down the example: chromium oxide, Cr2O3, FeO, iron oxide, Mn2O3, and one more example you can note down that Fe2O3. So these are basically some examples of semiconductor. Now let us focus on the insulator. I will talk later about in detail about the semiconductor. Okay dear students, now let us focus about the insulator. They do not allow, ये क्या करेंगे? एकदम allow नहीं करेंगे. So they do not allow the passage of electric current. Okay, so that's why they are known as insulator. So common insulator in our house we can know plastics, wood, these are insulator. Now here the conductivity range is 10 to the power minus 20 to 10 to the power minus 10 ohm inverse, meter inverse. Are getting this point or not? Now let us focus here. Sometime one question is arises, which oxide of D block, okay, we have an insulator. Here three examples are written, just you have to learn this. Magnesium oxide, okay, cobalt oxide and copper oxide. That means COO and CuO, that means copper oxide, cobalt oxide and Mn oxide, they behave as insulator. So sometime one question arises, write the name of oxide which behave as insulator in case of D block. So you can write these examples. Are you getting this point or not? Now let us focus how we can define the conductor, semiconductor and insulator on the basis of band theory. So this band theory you can understand from the molecular orbital theory, Laplace 11. That means when atomic orbitals are combined, they form molecular orbitals. Okay. So look at here what happens. This is filled electrons. This is empty. Okay. So this is known as valence band and this is known as conduction band. In case of metal, so look about the metal. Two conditions are arising. Either they are partially overlap, that is partially filled, or they can overlap to each other. Okay. In that condition what happens? Look at here, no gaps are there in between the valence band and conduction band. So that's why electron can jump here to here. So that's why they can show conductivity. Are you getting this point or not? So that means in case of conductor, the electron can jump from valence band to the conduction band, and that's why they show the conductivity. Okay. Now let us focus on the semiconductor. So this is basically conductor. Now this is semiconductor. So in case of semiconductor, this type of figure can be given to you so that how can you explain on the basis of figure. This figure belong to the conductor, this figure belong to the semiconductor, and this figure belong to the insulator. So look at here. Here the small energy gap. So when that means some electrons may jump from here to here due to small energy gap. So that's why on increasing the temperature, semiconductors show the conductivity. Are you getting this point or not? This energy gap is also known as forbidden zone. This concept you can also better understand from the physics. Okay. Now look about the insulator. Now here what happens? Basically the energy gap is more, so that's why the electron cannot jump here to here. Okay. So that's why they work as insulator. So due to large energy gap, that means forbidden zones, they do not work as, that means they do not show the conductivity. That means they do not show any type of conductivity on increasing the temperature also, due to there is large gap between them. Okay. In term of electron volt, that means we can also say the energy. So this have minimum 3 electron volt energy gap and they may have 6 electron volt energy gap. So that's why the gap is more of energy. So that's why the electron cannot jump from here to here. Just you think that in your house, okay, your floor is attached with your neighbor's floor, so that's why you can jump easily. But if there is a gap, so you cannot run from here to here. So that's why this condition arises in the insulator. Are you getting this point or not? So now let us focus on the doping. You've listened this doping term so many times. That means in case of athlete, they are taking the doping test, na? So now here also, so first of all you have to define the what is doping. So here doping means the introduction of, that means addition of a small amount of impurities, okay, in the pure semiconductor. That means pure silicon and germanium. What benefit from this? To increase the conductivity is called doping. Just like what happens in case of athletes, they take the dope, that means they take the steroid to increase their running power, na? That means they increase their conductivity. So here also the introduction of small amount of impurity in the semiconductor, that is basically intrinsic semiconductor, to increase the conductivity is called doping. Are you getting this point or not? Now due to doping, here the semiconductor become extrinsic semiconductor. Let us focus on the extrinsic semiconductor. So now focus on the extrinsic semiconductor. This you can also know that impurity of higher or lower group elements. Are you getting this point or not? Now this generate two type of semiconductor. One is known as N-type semiconductor that have electron rich impurity. One is known as P-type semiconductor. This is electron deficient impurity. So now how we can generate this N-type semiconductor? So that means silicon or germanium. Silicon you can take in or germanium, silicon or germanium taken, and these are added by group 15 elements. Group 15 elements. That means nitrogen or phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. So these are belong to group 15 elements. Okay. तो when the doping occurs, that means अगर हम impurity कौन सी ऐड कर रहे हैं, group 15 वाली, that means we can add group 15 elements to the silicon and germanium. So now look at here what happens. N is pentavalent na, N has 5 electrons in outermost shell and silicon has 4 electrons in outermost shell. Are getting this point or not? So 4 electrons will bonded with the nitrogen, okay, but 1 electrons are left. So look at here what happens. Nitrogen can be bonded to the silicon by 4 electrons, but 1 electrons are left. So due to electrons, because our electrons are negatively charged, so that's why this type of semiconductor which are generated by adding a group 15 element to the silicon germanium is known as N-type semiconductor. So one question arises in the board examination that are very easy. What happens when silicon or germanium is doped with nitrogen, phosphorus or arsenic? So you have to write the answer. N-type semiconductor are generated. Now what happens basically here? If we apply the two electrodes here, negatively charged and positively charged. So here what happens? The electrons, that means extra electrons, move towards positive electrode. So that's why this can prove that here the conductivity is due to the electrons, and that's why this is known as N-type semiconductor. Now let us focus on the P-type semiconductor. As this indicates that electron deficient. So this is generated by doping of germanium or silicon with group 13 elements. So that means a group 13 elements are added. In that condition, what happens? The electron deficient bond are formed, and that electron deficient bond is basically formed by hole. So that's why the hole behave as positively charged, and hence this is known as P-type semiconductor. So look at here, when we add boron, so boron has 3 electrons. Are getting this point or not? So silicon are bonded by this bond, na? Bolo. Now one silicon like this, they have only 1 electron, and here 1 holes are there. So this is known as hole. This hole behave as positive charge. So that's why this is known as P-type semiconductor. That means if 4 electrons of silicon and 3 electrons of boron family. That means boron, aluminium, okay, gallium. These are the boron family elements. Okay. So now look at here. They do not complete their octet ना. यहाँ 7 इलेक्ट्रॉन ना होंगे बेटा, तो 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन बच गया, उसका स्पेस मीन्स होल. So that hole behave as positively charged. So that's why this is known as P-type semiconductor. So here what happens when we apply the electrode like this? So look at here, positive charge and negative charge. So what happens? The hole are moved towards which direction? To the negative direction. So that's why this hole behave as positively charged. So these are all things about N-type and P-type semiconductor. The question asked in this from this topic is that which type of semiconductor can be generated when you doped with, that means germanium, or doped with arsenic. So which type of semiconductor generated? So first of all you have to notice that this is the group 15 elements. So that's why they form N-type semiconductor. Are you getting this point or not? When silicon are doped with gallium, so gallium belong to the group 13, so that's why they produce P-type semiconductor. So only this type of question asked in the board examination. Are you getting this point or not? So now let us focus on the application of N and P-type semiconductor. That means an extrinsic semiconductor. So sometime 1 or 2 question may be asked from the application base. So that means here what you have to know that only in the application a diode. Okay, the detail of diode you have to learn in the physics, but here only you have to know the applications like this. So diode is combination of N and P type semiconductors. That means N and P type semiconductor form a diode, and this diode is used as rectifier. Are you getting this point or not? So the use of diode is rectifier. Second, NPN and PNP type of transistor. Okay, the NPN and PNP type of transistor are used to detect or amplify radio or audio signals. So this you have to see now. In case of decent disc, they put the amplifier. So like this, they work at amplifying the radio or audio signals. Okay. So these are also made up of semiconductor. That means NPN or PNP type. Okay. Third thing, the solar cells. Now this I also told you in the previous lecture. The solar cell is also a type of photovoltaic cell. So this is the solar cell, an efficient photodiode. Okay. And used for conversion of light energy into the electrical energy. About the solar cell, you listen so many times. So this is the used for conversion of light energy into the electrical energy. Now one more things you have to notice on that. Gallium and arsenic, when combined, so they form semiconductor, which are known as new generation semiconductor devices. Okay. So gallium and arsenic, they are used basically in new generation semiconductor device. So one question may be asked, in new generation semiconductor device use which type of semiconductor? So they are gallium and arsenic. And you know that this is basically which type? They are basically N-type semiconductor because they are doped with arsenic having the pentavalent, that means group 15 elements. So that's why this is known as N-type semiconductor. So these are some applications of semiconductor which you have to know. So listen again. In this lecture, you have to focus on the conductivity, that means conductor, semiconductor and insulator. But let us more focus on the semiconductor. Here, two type of question are asking more times. That is how we can define the N-type semiconductor and how we can define the P-type semiconductor. Second thing, this type of conditions may be generated. Gallium plus arsenic, silicon plus boron. So this type of combination generate which type of semiconductor. So this may be N-type, this may be P-type, depending upon the doping. If doping is done by the group 13 elements to the silicon and germanium, so they will generate what? P-type semiconductor. When doping occurs by group 15 elements, that means nitrogen family, so they will generate N-type semiconductor. Why they are N-type? Because one electron is more. Why they are P-type? Because the whole behave as positively charged. Okay. So that's why you have to focus more on the semiconductor. Okay, dear students, so are you getting this point or not? So now let us again same thing are repeated. Stay home, stay healthy, okay, and continue your learning because learning is the continuous process. So whole life we have to learn. Since now we have to learn for the board examination, so that's why you have to focus on your board examinations. Second thing, for this chapter I have given the PDF. The PDF contains notes, okay, question answers, okay, format of question answer, and some assignments are also given to you topic wise. So okay, go through the topic semiconductor and try to solve all the questions. Are you getting this point? Now have a nice day. Thank you, dear students.